to steal sheep. Okay? Everybody's welcome. It's come as you are, and they even let me preach. So, all right, and I'll finish off by just saying this: Jesus loves you, and He wants to know you personally.
Amen. Amen.
You guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Okay, we move on with the agenda. We have the approval of the agenda for tonight. Entertain motions regarding the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the agenda as outlined.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Fletcher and a second by Commissioner Lovett to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call to the vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, so obviously April is a big proclamation month every year for us. The first proclamation we have is the National Child Abuse Prevention Month. And Commissioner Gillis?
Whereas every year thousands of Georgia children are abused or neglected by their caretakers, and whereas the Division of Family and Children's Services is a state agency whose job it is to step in and protect children from further damage and protect strong families, whereas Child Protective Service staff in Lamar County are dedicated to meeting the needs of children and improving family life and building a prevention network of individuals dedicated to preventing child abuse and neglect in all its forms. Whereas April is National Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month, this event raises awareness of the role that caring connections play in strengthening communities. Each year, we encourage local community groups to generate public attention to raise people's awareness of the campaign. Whereas the pinwheels that are on display outside of the Lamar County Courthouse this month represent 36 of the substantiated cases of child abuse and neglect in Lamar County in the year 2025. The purpose of the pinwheels is a reminder to everyone that child abuse and neglect is a serious issue that is around us every day. Now, therefore, help us celebrate the importance of social connections and join our work to strengthen social well-being, the key indicator of overall health and essential factor in preventing child abuse and neglect. We, the Board of Commissioners of Lamar County, do declare and proclaim the month of April 2026 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Lamar County and urge all of our citizens to work together to make this year a safer one for children in our community.
Okay, unfortunately, no one from the local organization could be here, and so we'll move on to the next proclamation, which is National Donate Life Month, and this can be read by Commissioner Lovett.
National Donate Life Month Proclamation. Whereas one of the most meaningful gifts that a human being can bestow upon another is the gift of life. And whereas more than 100,000 men, women, and children await life-saving or life-enhancing organ transplants, of which nearly 3,000 reside in Georgia. And whereas 49,064, a record number of transplants, occurred in the calendar year 2025, thanks to the generosity of 23,789 deceased and living donors, of which 1,676 transplant patients and 679 deceased and living donors, also a record number, were from Georgia. And whereas more than 2.5 million people throughout the country and in Georgia benefit annually from tissue transplantation, thanks to thousands of tissue donors, and whereas the need for organ, eye, and tissue donation remains critical as a new patient is added to the national waiting list for an organ transplant every 8 minutes, and millions more could experience improved quality of life through tissue transplantation, and whereas the critical donor shortage remains a public health crisis as an average of 13 people die daily due to the lack of available organs, and whereas nearly 3.8 million Georgians have already registered their decision to give the gift of life at www.donatelifegeorgia.org when getting or renewing their driver's license or state identification card at the driver's license office, or when getting a hunting or fishing license through the Department of Natural Resources. And whereas LifeLink of Georgia, the nonprofit organization dedicated to the recovery of organs and tissue for transplantation therapy in Georgia, with a vision to maximize the gift of life while giving hope to donor families and transplant patients, and mission to honor donors and save lives through organ and tissue donation, and now, therefore, Lamar County, Georgia does hereby proclaim April 2026 as Donate Life Month on this 21st day of April 2026.
Thank you, Commissioner Lovett.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yes.
On the bottom of your license, everybody, so if you'll stop for just a second and look at your license, on the very bottom, there will be a heart, and it says organ donor. If you do not have that, I encourage you to be an organ donor. Thank you, sir.
Okay, the next proclamation we have tonight will be read by Commissioner Boyle, and it is Confederate History and Heritage Month. Bill Lindsey, y'all like to come up, please?
I can talk loud about that. All right, proclamation, Confederate History and Heritage Month. Whereas the month of April bears special significance as it marks both the beginning and the ending of the war between the states. Confederate Memorial Day is a time when Georgia is honored an estimated 592,000 Confederate servicemen who served in the Southern military, including about 7,500 Georgians who were killed in action. Georgia joined the Confederacy in January of 1861 when the state convention ratified the ordinance of secession, and Georgia has long cherished her Confederate history along with the leaders and citizens who made sacrifices on her behalf. And whereas a visit to many cemeteries in Georgia will reveal the graves of many thousand Georgian veterans who had once served in the Southern military forces in defense of their homes and their country, and who had died in the period extending from the 1860s into the middle part of the 1900s. And whereas several generations passed until the hardship and destruction of those unhappy times were healed over by hard work and dauntless spirit of a survivor of those years. And whereas it is important to reflect upon the state's past, our state's past, and honor the respect and devotion of her Confederate leaders, soldiers, and citizens who made sacrifices, and to come to a fuller understanding that the lessons learned yesterday and today will carry us through tomorrow, and carefully, earnestly strive to understand and appreciate our heritage and our opportunities for which lie before us. And whereas the Georgia Legislature in 2009 session enacted Section 1-4-20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated of the state of Georgia, which encourages activities which commemorate the honor and shared history of the cultural heritage throughout each April during Confederate History and Heritage Month. Therefore, we as Lamar County Commissioners do hereby proclaim the month of April 2026 as Confederate History and Heritage Month, and April 26th is Confederate Memorial Day. It's 21st day of April 2026. Thank the commissioners, the administration for helping me here, so we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
If y'all can go back and let me grab a picture.
Oh, excellent. Can you put on the youth filter?
I can, already on. Scoot to your left a little bit. Or no, we got it. Got it, thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir, thank you.
No Stonewall.
Hey, Bill. Let me get my big writing sheet. I had one with a little bit larger print. I didn't want to think this is what we gave them.
That's for those young eyes, children, those young eyes.
Yeah.
All right. The next item on our agenda for tonight is the approval of the minutes from the last work session from March 12th and the regular business meeting minutes from the 19th. I trust to know you guys all had a chance to read them, so I'll entertain motions regarding the minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Gillis and a second by Commissioner Lovett to approve the minutes as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call to the vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, we did not have any old business, but we do have some new business. And the first item that we have under new business was discussed a few moments ago at the public hearing, ordinance 2026-03. Ms. Price, would you like to go ahead and give a summary?
Well, thank you. This is a rezoning application from Mr. Glenn and Ms. Sandy Stoodle. This is for property on Piedmont Road, tax ID 012-012A. This is a family farm. They're asking to split 2 acres from their property for their daughter to move back into town with the grandbabies. We went through a public hearing with the Planning and Zoning Board last week. They recommended approval. They had a public hearing tonight. No one came to the public hearing to speak against this application. This property is in conservation, and this split meets the conservation requirements.
Any questions for Ms. Price? Okay. Hearing none, I entertain motions regarding ordinance 2026-03.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve ordinance 26-03.
Second. Good.
I have a motion by Commissioner Gillis and a second by Commissioner Fletcher to approve ordinance 2026-03. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, we call to the vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The next ordinance we have is 2026-04 for the devices.
Yes, sir, this is a very similar situation. This is family property that is currently in a conservation agreement through the assessor's office. A son wishes to, and his lovely bride, wishes to build a house on 2 acres on the property. There's been an earlier split years ago before we had our 5-acre minimum of a 2-acre tract that a brother is already on. That's the one outlined in blue. This also went through the planning board a couple of weeks ago. They recommended approval. We had another public hearing earlier this evening. No one signed up to speak against this application. And this split would also meet the requirements of conservation.
All right, I entertain motions regarding ordinance 2026-04.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve ordinance 26-04.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Lovett and a second by Commissioner Fletcher to approve ordinance 2026-04. Any additional discussion? Okay, hearing none, we call it to a vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, the next was resolution 2026-04. Ms. Nita, do you want to give the update about that?
Yes, sir. For the record, this was an application for a special exception for an outdoor commercial enterprise. It's, I didn't even include it on the slides because this application was withdrawn early this morning. They could at any time reapply with any property owner, but as of now, when this went through the planning commission, it was recommended to deny this application. There were a lot of neighbors present that had a lot of concerns, and the property owner decided to just withdraw at this time. So no motion is needed for this.
Thank you. Okay, so the next item on our agenda is the agreement with the Three Rivers Regional Commission for transit services.
Yes, sir. This is just our annual contract we renew with Three Rivers. This is actually for the 5311 program. This is the bus that you may see that goes from Upson Pike, and I think they come in here and they have from Upson and Pike, and then our bus actually goes in those areas also and Spalding also. So this is just a standard contract we do every year, and it's the same amount that we do have in our budget for $17,900.
I mentioned in the workshop the other day that I was at a training course not, long ago, and sometimes I think we take for granted some of the things that we have that are great in our community. But there were several counties in South Georgia that was trying to work together to figure out how to put together a region commission so they could get, access to, transportation options like this. So it's something that's utilized in our community, and I'm glad we have the opportunity to have it here. Any questions or comments? I'll entertain motions regarding the agreement.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the agreement with Three Rivers Regional Commission for Transit Services.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Lovett, a second by Commissioner Gillis to approve the agreement with the Three Rivers Regional Commission for Transit Services. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call to the vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. The next item on our agenda for new business is a resolution for the safety coordinator. This is not actually a new position, but the duties. So Sean, would you like to go ahead and explain it to everyone?
Yes, sir. When, Miss Carlette Davidson retired at the end of, 2025, and then also Miss Leslie moving over to the, tax commissioner's position, we have to have a resolution to appoint somebody as our safety coordinator. So this is just a resolution to appoint, Melinda as our safety coordinator. This for liability insurance also.
And for the record, for those you don't know, Melinda Corley is our HR director. You can wave in the back. Any questions? All right, entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to appoint Melinda Corley for our safety coordinator.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Gillis and a second by Commissioner Lovett to appoint Melinda Corley for our, safety coordinator. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call to a vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Okay, the next item, Sean, you wanna give us an update on the quotes for the motor grader for Public Works?
Yes, sir. When we actually talked about this in our workshop, we was talking about buying, purchasing one, and they was gonna give us $50,000 for an older machine as a trade-in. And I think there was a discussion about maybe leasing some, but we do have a newer motor grader out there that we can trade in also. So we was talking about trying to lease them, so we have worked with them on Friday. They're gonna come back probably sometime next week or the week after to work out the details on that. Cause right now, they have to come out here and appraise the other motor grader. If we trade it in, we may get a lot more than $50,000 for it. If not, we can consider going out and, to an auction house or something like that, and maybe even get more. So we can look at those options when all that comes in to see if we wanna take their trade-in or take our chances with an auction house.
The ones.
I just asked to table this right now until we get all the information.
Okay, good deal. Thanks, sir.
You want a motion?
Yes, please.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we table quotes for motor grader for Public Works.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Lovett and a second by Commissioner Fletcher to table the quotes for the motor grader for Public Works. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, the next item on the agenda for tonight is the budget amendment.
And this is just a, got a request, and, so this is actually something I didn't really factor in during the budget process, is that, travel would increase so much for the IRS. So it's gone from 62.5 to 72.5, and just trying to make sure I cover the travel for the, commissioner's line item, so.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
So where are we pulling this from?
It's coming from contingency,
Okay, and we're still good?
yes,
Okay. Do you have a number for contingency?
594,000.
Okay, all right. Okay, so this is an adjustment to that to cover the increase.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, sir. Thanks, sir.
Any discussion? Further? Okay, I entertain motions for the budget amendment.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the FY 2026 budget amendment number 3.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Fletcher and a second by Commissioner Lovett to approve the FY 2026 budget amendment number 3. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay. I will also vote against, so we will, not pass budget amendment number 3. Okay, we'll move on to number 9. 9 is the administrative report. Sean, so I can go ahead and move forward, please?
Yes, sir. This is on the report for March of 2026. Revenues came in at $480,877.24, and our expenditures came in at $1,278,391.02. So we're continuing to just see that continued trend we see in the past. And right now, I am a little bit behind on my forecast. I do have about $550,000 that haven't been received from the league fund, so once those come in, that will get back in line, so. Right now, our general fund has $3,977,980.79. Special revenue funds have $48,785.48. And our capital projects right now is $2,062,470.16. And our debt service fund is $4,606,963.46, which gives us a grand total right now of $10,696,469.89. Now, just cover some of our projects. As you can see, Blunt Construction has started on Atlanta Street up there. We got starting to mill some of those areas up there, and James been coordinating with them with a couple of questions, so he's been busy with that. So, also our Piedmont Howard and all that is complete. They've got all that done. We're still waiting on a couple of questions on the Chapel Mill High Falls. Once we get that, we should be able to release that RFP as soon as possible. And some of the projects we started in 2026, our courthouse windows are complete, and our the flooring up there is being completed, the alarm system is being completed, and the 2026 LeMay projects are on hold right now until we receive those funds from the Georgia DOT. Also, give you a little bit of an update. In the workshop, I actually mentioned I was gonna put an RFP out for the lights for the recreation complex. We put it out on Thursday of last week, and we already received 5 companies that received requests for those bids, so that's 5 companies. I was hoping I would get 2 or 3, but getting 5 is really, I think, is a good thing. So right now, our loss right now is $149,324.11, which is 1.3 over last year. And then we had this new floating homestead. Right now, I don't have a percentage from last year, but it was $259,844.27. And then our SPOS just came in at $261,974.25, and that was a 1.3% increase from last year. And then our LeMay funds came out at $247,695.86, but that was a negative 1% from last year. And I'm gonna give 2 months of reports from AmeriPro. Thanks, one of the person that does these reports actually came in, had an accident, so they wasn't able to give us February. Right now, February's request was 265, transports was 164, refusals was 69, cancellations were 32, and their response time was 6 minutes and 5 seconds, and we did give 2 mutual aid and 19 we received from Pike County and Hudson. March's numbers were 257 requests, 151 transports, 65 refusals, 41 cancellations, and response time was 5 minutes and 54 seconds. And again, that was, we gave mutual aid to, automatic aid to Pike and Upson, and we received 13 for those two counties. So we continue to work with those two counties on our EMS, which they've been doing a really good job. That's all I have for tonight. If y'all have any questions for me.
Any questions for?
And I did give y'all a handout since I was putting these up on the screen before. I want to start trying to get these out to you quarterly. It gives you a breakdown by departments, but it's just, when you put it up on the screen, nobody can really see it. And I think it was a comment about a year ago, when we started taking that off the reports.
Thanks, sir. All right, so we did not have anybody sign up for public comment tonight. We will move on to roundtable. Mr. Fletcher?
Nothing tonight.
Nothing tonight, sir.
I got a couple of things. We've been looking at Edie Creek in 36. We've had a big bit of rear enders out there, people turning left on the Edie Creek Road. I spoke with the area engineer today, Tyler Peak, and we're gonna see what we can do to mitigate that a little bit. And y'all know public safety's my world, so anytime I see anything I like to do to help the public with safety while driving, that's one of the things I try to do. And had a really good meeting today, the ongoing saga of the tower structure. It seems like every time we get something going, it kind of falls down on us, but had a really good meeting with the new city administrator today, Richard Newbern. And, I know he's been drinking from a fire hose, and, I gave him another dose today, seeing what was up there. But had a really good meeting between him and Southern Rivers, and, appreciate him taking the time to go up there and let me tell him what we'd like to see up there. But, that's it.
Tommy, anything else?
No, sir.
Scott? No need that I know for executive session? Correct. All right, I'll close this out. The first thing, and I wanted to say thank you to those that participated in the Keep Barnesville Beautiful campaign this weekend. Mayor, thank you for all your work that you guys did for that. Linda, thank you for writing the grant for the tire collection. It was a great event. The turnout was amazing, including Gordon doing things on the Friday prior to it. I did, commissioners, say that, I'm a very competitive person, and I did say that, next year, I'm gonna try to convince the commissioners to join in and let's, also participate in that cleanup day. We used to have a really big cleanup program here in the community, which was a great day of service, and that's kind of been discontinued, but I would love to see us as a county join in on that particular day and participate next year. But great job to all of you guys. The other thing that I want to say tonight is, I want to talk just for briefly just about our staff. If you have not encountered or had a reason to interact with any of our staff here in our county, I will tell you, I have in some other counties, and tell you, I will put our staff up against anybody. All the way down from the rec department to zoning to the tag office to elections. We really have some good folks that are working for our county, very knowledgeable people who really care. And so I encourage you, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give them a call. Buddy's back there. If you have a question that has something to do with building, he's a wealth of knowledge, give him a call. Jeannie Haddock, if you got a question about homestead or about our staff, the thing I'm worried about is it's not like being the Falcons. I mean, the Falcons are not very good. So you don't have to worry about recruiting people from the Falcons. I see us as that team where everybody wants our players. Just a couple of days ago, Jeannie was asking me, Ryan, Thomaston needs this, or Pike County wants this. Is it okay if I provide this, or if I provide some information to them from education? That just goes to show how much knowledge we have within our little small community. So if you encounter them, please let them know that they're doing a great job. Tell them, because so often we hear when it's bad, but we don't hear when it's good. So, please take the time to thank them for all that they do. With that being said, please be safe. The accidents, thank God, have reduced a little bit in our community, but please be safe, as we approach the travel season. With that being said, I will, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Gillis and a second by Commissioner Lovett to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are adjourned.